stop. The flag's hanging at the east end of the stadium. Good snap. Ball's going to fall a little short. And
Tim fell down on that. His plant foot slipped out from underneath him, and down he went. I think there's no question that this coaching staff believes that they can score once they cross the 50-yard line, no matter what.
Pat, how hard is it for a soccer-style kicker to plant? Is it more difficult than a straight-on kicker?
I think he's going to put a lot more pressure on him because he's going to be leaning more, whereas a straight-on kicker, the old Lou Groza type, would just be over the top of his foot, whereas the sidewinder kicker, he leans back, he tips himself over to the side, and he's got to dig that heel into the side to get that sweeping action, that 9-iron shot.
Ben Inch handing off to Miles Guyman. Picked up 1 yard. We're going to have 2nd and 9, 7:18 remaining in the first quarter. Also like to remind you at halftime, Coach Cacciardo will be trying to answer the Rosie's question. This is a dandy this
They
week.
aren't getting any easier, I'll tell you that. This is a tough one this time. I'll let the fans think about it. I'll ask the question before we take the break and let them think about it.
Inch. Pass completed and then dropped at the 30-yard line. That was intended for Mike Abram, the wide receiver.
He couldn't have asked for a better pass. Hit him right in the hands, just below his chin. It's just a matter, he did the right thing. He's trying to catch it in his hands. It's just a matter of getting a little bit softer hands and just kind of fight. Don't fight the ball, just invite it in, catch it with the soft hands. And this quarterback is going to be, he's going to make some things happen before this night's over. He's delivering the ball right where it needs to be caught. Ben Imch.
Taking a snap from the center, Sean Smith. Imch back to pass again. Has a man open.
Oh, my.
Coach, I hope we can get that on the replay. It looked like his own player knocked the ball out of his hand.
I think that Dusty Williams had the ball, and number 20 came and just kind of knocked it out of his hands.
That's Brad Agler.
He just was going down the sidelines and just kind of knocked it out of his hands. That's unfortunate. That was a well-thrown pass.
Here we go, Coach.
It's right there, and there it goes. Brad Agler just knocked it off his fingertips. They're coming.
Agler gets the kick off this time. Takes a good Rossford bounce. Pat, you're pointing at a flag down there.
They are going to have a roughing the kicker. The Yellow Jackets went after that one. They sent 10 men, and they rolled over the top of him. Keith Bowers was back there all by himself. Even though he did get a Rossford bounce, they did knock him down. Obviously, they're going to decline the ball where it's at and take the ball down here with a 15-yard penalty and a first down for the Rossford Bulldogs and give Ben Imch another shot at moving this offense.
Tonight's scoreboard sponsored by Dave's Performance Footgear, located at 5577 Monroe Street in Sylvania, and a Promenade Shop. Owned and operated by James Mason. Talk to him today. If you'll stop over there right now, he's running a special on basketball shoes. I know these are two very fine basketball schools as well. Nike Air Strong basketball shoes, normally $104, are now on sale for $89.95. And I'll talk a little bit more about some of the other specials.
Good price.
Yeah.
Cost a fortune normally. That's a good price for a pair of good shoes.
Anxious pass. Dropped. Almost picked off by Jason Forbes.
There must be jelly out here or Vaseline or something. We have not seen anyone with be able to hold on to the ball.
Right now, Pat, over in Toledo.
In the Glass Bowl.
In the Glass Bowl. St. John's leading St. Francis 7-6 with 1:28 to go in the first half.
That's awesome.
That's a great game.
That's a great game, and you know what? We can give them the score as they watch this game. I tell you this, we are just expanding our horizons, aren't we? With 6:20 to go in the first quarter, 0-0 here.
Hampshire's pass overthrown at the 35-yard line.
They are trying the same pattern on both sides of the field. They're having the wide receiver slide to the inside to bring the cornerback, the deep back up, and then they're sending the underneath back coming down the sidelines and trying to float it over the top. And they're just missing connections by a step. So, you know, it's just a matter of time. And if Coach Ferguson doesn't get gun-shy with throwing the ball, it may happen with the connection here before this quarter is even over.
Third down and 10. 6:14 remaining in the first quarter. Emsch back to pass again. Plenty of time. Has a man open and completed to number 84, Dusty Williams. Dropped at the 40. They're going to spot it about the 42-yard line. First down, Rossford in Perrysburg territory.
What a departure from what we anticipated.
Yes.
I asked the coaches in Perrysburg, what do you think? They really have a fine running game. They got some fast backs. So what do we see? We're seeing a lot of throwing, and you can see Ben Emsch is going to drop back, straight back pedal. He looks down the sidelines, breaks contain, and then fires a bullet into Dusty Williams for a first down and breaks the 50-yard line. I do want to thank Carolyn Peabody and her fine staff for the food that was given to us today prior to the game.
I had to wash my hands. That chicken was delicious.
That was excellent. And that was from Quarters Bar and Grill, which is here locally.
Really?
Yes. So that was excellent. We thank Carolyn for the hospitality. We also want to thank the spotters up here, Tom Monahan and Chris Harvey, and our scorekeepers, Howard Steinecker and Bob Statler.
Second down and 10. Pitch back, Jason Fry. Woo! Sorry, make that Tyrone Martin. Well played by Perrysburg. We're going to have third down and 14.
Keith Bowers jumped right up in his face as you see Tyrone Martin coming right over towards you, and you see he had nowhere to go, and the whole Perrysburg defensive end ran him out of bounds, knocked him down.
Third and 14. Ouch. Pass knocked down. Fourth down and 14.
Rocky Gardner, number 5, came in and put a lick on Ben Emsch that time to let him know that you're in the wrong territory to be throwing all those balls out there. So that was a nice hit, and that makes it fourth down and about 15 yards.
Brad Agler in the punt for Rossford.
We're still looking for that meat locker hit. The one by Rocky is in the vicinity. Nice kick.
Keith Bowers on the return. Driven out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Started to mention Dave's Performance footgear. They also have Nike Air Pound basketball shoes, both for men and women. They normally sell for $79.95, on sale for $64.95. So if you're looking for walking shoes, running shoes, cross-training shoes, hiking shoes, basketball shoes, or soccer shoes, that's the best place in town to go. Dave's Performance footgear. First down. 4:28 left in the first quarter. Nice run to the coach. I couldn't see it because the Perrysburg people were in front of
fumbled the ball, Coach. The running back must have fumbled the ball, and the Rossford Bulldogs recovered. And what an exchange this is. Rossford's ball on about the 29.5-yard line, and they're closing in on the red zone. An opportunity to score before this first quarter is up with 4:19 to go here in the first quarter.
This would be a good test for the Perrysburg defense. Pat, Perrysburg 3-1 in the Northern Lakes League. They're still in this.
Absolutely. Maumee's playing very good football at this time, but Perrysburg is going to meet them soon.
Next week?
Yes.
Next Friday night, October 28th. Emsch back to pass.
Oh!
Tried to get it in there. Good defense by Brian Ball, a junior. linebacker.
Perrysburg has had its hand on at least 2 balls right in their hands for interceptions and have dropped them. They have to start taking advantage of the opportunities. The sophomore quarterback is throwing into a crowd at times, and you know what? When he does, you got to make him pay for doing that. If not, one of these balls is going to go for the whole thing here, and he's finding a receiver every once in a while. He's putting in the vicinity of the receivers, and he's getting sharper and sharper.
2nd and 10. On speed, number 20, Brad Agler. Touchdown, Rossford.
What a neat little play. That ball, what he did, he faked the pitch to the wide side of the field and did an inside handoff on a reverse to Brad Agler. Nice play, touchdown from about 29 yards out with the 3:48 to go in the first quarter. You can see Ben Emch hand it to Brad Agler. He makes a nice hit right there and outruns the safety into the end zone for a touchdown.
Jason Fry holding for Brad Agler. Good kick. Off to the left. So, Rossford taking the early lead 6-0 at the 3:48 mark of the first quarter.
We have an update on the St. Francis St. John's score playing over there at the Glass Bowl. St. Francis has scored. It's 12 St. Francis, 6 for St. John's. Thank you, Rick. Rick Woods, our statistician, giving us those updates.
Yes, and
early in our broadcast.
Performing well for us tonight in spite of the fact that he has a very sore back. That's the only thing that kept him away from Rosie's.
From that buffet?
Buffet, I'll tell you. Rosie's made money this week because Rick stayed away.
Rosie's has 4 locations now that we got a little break in the action. There's one at McCord, Nebraska, Secord and Alexis, Sylvania, east of Jackman, and across to the Masonic Temple. One of their favorite foods, and we're not going to talk about the buffet just yet, one of their favorite foods is the hot mama bread, which
I love that.
Is now being sold locally in all of our grocery stores, which is an excellent idea, and it should be. It's something that they should be very proud of. And Mama Baroni is the inventor, is the creator of that recipe. So the hot mama bread from Rosie's Family Restaurants. And we have a kickoff here.
Ball picked up at the 15-yard line. Tim Aker carrying the ball, giving Perrysburg good field position at their own 49-yard line. I'm sorry, they're going to spot it at the 44-yard line.
Well, that's excellent field position, Harry, right off the kickoff. And you know that can change the momentum of the game, and that could change the complexion of the game. Now, we'll see if Perrysburg opens up their offense a little bit here still in the first quarter, the waning minutes of the first quarter.
That was Sean Roberts carrying the ball in the lineup at tailback for Perrysburg.
Here, I really believe that all that throwing that Ben Emch was doing for Rossford is what kind of kept Perrysburg on their heels. I don't think they were anticipating that, and I think that's why that misdirection play scored that touchdown. It makes a difference when you're looking for that throw.
Strayer's pass intended for Travis Powell. Incomplete, stopping the clock. 2:55 remaining in the first quarter. 3rd down and 7. 6-0 in favor of Rossford on the Dave's Performance Footgear scoreboard. And there's a shot of some of the fans tonight.
Nice crowd on both sides.
Yeah.
This is a nice football stadium here. Bob Steinecker.
Sean Roberts for the first down. Coach, ball was on the grass. We'll see what they call.
It's going to be a first down. I don't think there's any question.
No, first down at the 45-yard line.
I think Coach Pratt definitely does not want anything to disrupt the momentum that his football team has right now. They need to just keep it moving forward and keep this Rossford team on their heels.
Strayer's pass overthrown, intended for his favorite target, Keith Bowers.
That's a fade pass down the sidelines. When you're talking about a 6'6" receiver, that's a nice way to get the ball to him. He's going to be, in 9 times out of 10, most games, he's going to be taller than those defensive backs. So it's not a bad idea to just put it up and let him jump up in the air. And I imagine that he's a basketball player, too. I'm sure the coach would like to have a 6'6" center or forward on his basketball team.
They've got a great coach over here, Coach Clark. Second down and 10. Strayer picks up 3 yards.
Using that speed option, which means he's just stepping back. John Strayer is just stepping back from the center and then getting a chance to look at the defensive end of the line of scrimmage. And if the defensive end steps up the field, he's going to duck it under. If the defensive end sits down, then he's going to deal the ball to his tailback, Tim Traber. 3rd down and long. He's going to need to come up with a big play here.
3rd and 7. Handoff. Tim Traber. Picked up 4 yards. We're going to have 4th down and 2.
Well, they have the same situation, similar to what they had last time when they tried that field goal. This time they're going to go for it on 4th down. Coach Pratt has the ultimate confidence in this football team to go for this 4th down and 3 here early in the first quarter, in the first half of the game, with 1:34 counting.
Quick pass completed and out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Travis Powell on the receiving end, another tall receiver, Pat, 6'4".
Yeah, they've got some bookends for wide receivers, and you know what? You should use those guys, and that's what the coaches have said, that has been the key to their success, is throwing the ball to these wide receivers, and then just dip the ball underneath to Tim Traber and let him break some.
1st down and 10. Handoff running hard inside. Tim Traber again. Tim is a 5'10", 170-pound senior running back.
Behind that, the big block of number 31, Pete Grayson, a 185-pound fullback, leads the way for Tim, which helps him get those extra yards.
Pat, we've got a score here for us. Whitmer 7, Napoleon 7 for the battle for first place in the Great Lakes League. That's with 58 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Great.
That's a great game. Strayer has a man open. The ruling out of bounds. And you can see the official right on the play.
And I can tell you why he ruled it out of bounds. He was still bobbling the ball. He was still bobbling the ball as he was bringing it in. And that was a nice defensive play there by Brad Egler to keep him from catching the ball cleanly. So, I mean, that was a nice throw. It may have needed to get there just a little bit sooner, but nice concentration there by the receiver, but also equally good job by that defensive back, Brad Egler.
3rd down and 8. From the 30, Strayer. Pass completed and knocked out of bounds. That was caught by Keith Bowers. 4th down and 4.
The only problem with that was the route was run short, and with the quarterback running out, John Strayer running out, he had his deep receiver was covered very well, so he had to go to the underneath receiver. So it's kind of an over and under. He's looking deep. If that man's not there, then he dumps it off short. Now here they are going for 4th down and 4. And they completed last time with an out cut. Let's see if maybe they go an out or an out and up right now to the bottom of the screen.
Strayer's pass incomplete. Number 23 in on the play, Mike Abrams for Rossford. Now that stops the ball with 37 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Pat, this has been a long first quarter.
Yes, it has. With the throwing of the ball, Travis Powell was the one trying to reach up and climb the ladder and catch that one. Just a little too tall for him. And Rossford takes over with 37 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Surprisingly, on the Dave Performance Footgear scoreboard, 6 for Rossford, 0 for the home team, Perrysburg Yellow Jackets.
One setback. He takes the pitch, coming right at it. Number 5, Miles Diamond. And the clock now ticking. 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Whitmer has scored on a 57-yard run by LaCharles Smith, back in action for the first time in a number of weeks. Whitmer 14, Napoleon 7.
We've got some interesting matchups. We have this game here, which is a backyard rivalry, and this football game, and then the two that we're mentioning between St. John's and St. Francis.
Yes.
And Whitmer and Napoleon.
And a great game here at Perrysburg, Steinecker Stadium. Back into the first quarter on the Day's Performance Footgear scoreboard. Rossford leading 6-0. We're going to take a break and come back with second quarter action. We're back, getting ready for second quarter action. Boy, I tell you, that steak looked good, didn't it?
Oh, my goodness. Every time
Mancy's restaurant?
Just wonderful. And I can't recommend Gus Mancy's place higher than any other restaurant in town for those nice evenings that you'd like to spend with favorite friends and family. It's a great place to go on a prom date or a homecoming game. It's an excellent evening out.
I believe they said they've been in business since 1921. Is that what I heard on that commercial? Wow.
And, great place in town. Phillips and Lewis.
Second down and 9. Running hard, picking up 1 yard. That was number 5, Miles Guyman, fullback, 5'7", 179 pounds, tackled by Russ Vassick and Brian Vole for Perrysburg.
I do want to mention that we do have an Employee of the Week for Arnie's Sports Grill on Central and Secor. His name is Jesse Villalon. He's the cook over there, and a great cook, I must say. I was there today, and he did a nice job. I went right back in the kitchen and congratulated him for Arnie Elsie recommending him. Jesse Villalon is our Employee of the Week at Arnie's, and I also had the opportunity to meet Debbie Ryan, who is also the day manager. So, Jesse, congratulations. Arnie thinks a lot of you. As we've said in the past, now's the time to ask him for a raise.
That's right. I'd say everybody order a bunch of food and really make him work now. Make him earn this.
Yeah, that's right.
Good high punt. Fielded at the 42.
Oh, he is gone.
And a coach has called it. One man has a chance. Can't do it. Tim Aker scoring for Perrysburg.
There is a flag on the 47-yard line. There is a flag on the 47-yard line. Is a clip against the Yellow Jackets.
That kind of quieted the crowd down.
Oh, that's a shame. And it was thrown early. It was thrown, and the ball was kicked to the sideline. As you can see here, the ball is kicked, and the clip is going to take place on the upper part of the screen, which is out of our view. And this is a great run by Tim Costin. Tim Aker. And he scores a touchdown, and they have to bring it back.
Now, Pat, where do they mark it off from?
From the spot of the clip, and it's a 15-yard penalty. And now they, instead of having that touchdown and going for the extra point to take the lead, now they've got to go 60-plus yards to get back in this game again. So at 11:02, score is still 6 for Rossford, nothing for Perrysburg. Perrysburg has to do it again. They have to regather themselves and get this score one more time.
John Strayer still at quarterback. That was Tim Traber carrying the ball. Picked up 4 very tough yards. Scott Jeremy on the tackle for Rossford, and Mark Montgomery.
That's a nice first down play. And you can get 3 to 4 yards in your first down play and have a second medium. You can make the first downs and move right down the field, maybe break one. He's got fine receivers here and fine backs.
2nd and 6. Hand off to Traber. Powers, they're over the 45-yard line to the 47-yard line. First down. Tackle by Greg Linkus.
And you know what? He had nice blocking up front behind Jason Pardon, David Wallace, and Nick Swanson up front there, knocking those guys off the ball. John Ryder's doing a nice job on the offensive line.
Pat, as you mentioned, they've got a huge offensive line.
That time they gave the ball to their big fullback, Pete Grayson, who slammed and bounced and banged and did a little pinball action, picked up about 2 yards.
2nd and 9. That tackle was by Jeff Kiefer for Rossford. Ball is spotted at the 49-yard line, maybe a little closer to the 48. Wide receivers to both sides. Pass caught.
Absolutely great.
Swanson.
Great catch by Nick Swanson. As soon as he left the line of scrimmage, he was looking for the seam. And you know what? There wasn't a whole lot of room. It was like throwing through a keyhole. He made a nice catch on that ball with he caught it with his hands, not into his body. You can see Strayer's there. He double pumps. Look at that nice catch over the top and a nice saving tackle there by 23, Mike Abraham. Well, that might have gone all the way. Nice play.
First down for Perrysburg. Tim Traber. Close to another first down. Jim Wagner on the tackle.
They are mixing it up very well, Harry.
I was just going to say we've got 2nd down and 2.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Pat, they're doing a little bit of everything.
They are, and you know what? Tim Traber's doing a nice job of moving, and he's bobbing and weaving, he's sliding, and he's making his yardage by looking and keeping his head up. He's not just running into spots.
Sean Roberts picks up the first down, but we have a flag dropped at the 20-yard line.
Well, your guess is the same as mine. When it's thrown on the line of scrimmage, it's going to be a hold call most of the time, and that's going to move him back. The penalties, that was one of the keys to victory that Perrysburg needed to overcome. Reduce the mistakes and the penalties. Coach Pratt knows that that's some of the mental breakdowns that his team must overcome, and this is hurting him on this drive. But you know what? Good teams overcome mistakes, and right now they're doing it. They're making it happen. They're doing a nice job, and the play calling is mixed up very, very well. And now here it is. It's 2nd down and 9, so it isn't disastrous, but this is a big down right here. They need to pick up 4 to 6 yards on this play.
From the 30-yard line, carrying the ball, Sean Roberts. Ball's going to be spotted close to the 25-yard line. 3rd down and 5.
From what we saw earlier in the drive, going in the first quarter, I think this is 4-down territory. It seems to me that they're going to go for this. They're going to take 2 shots to get the first down here. So, you know, this is just a matter of getting 3 to 5 and then having to go for it on 4th down.
Long count. Strayer hands off to Traber. First down and more. Touchdown.
Nice job of blocking.
Traber.
Nice job. Nice play call. John Ryder and David Wallace on the right side. Matt Burroughs knocking those guys off the ball. Nick Swanson.
Tim Traber. There you go, Coach.
You see them coming to this side here. You see them bouncing to the outside. And there's a block by the wide receiver, Keith Bowers. This is the go-ahead point here by Tim Ashton. Harry, and
off of a John Strayer hold. Good snap. Good kick.
That makes it at the 7:38 mark. After that Tim Ashton kick, it is Perrysburg Yellow Jackets 7, coming from 6 down to Rossford Bulldogs 6. 7-6, Perrysburg. You can see that they're getting together. Both teams are huddling on the sidelines. And while they're doing that, I'd like to take a second here to mention one of our sponsors, Grogan Chrysler Plymouth Dealership, and one of the fine salesmen over there, Denny Amorine. If you go over to Denny Amorine at the Grogan's Chrysler Plymouth Dealership on Jackman Road and mention that you heard them on this broadcast, make the best deal that you can. We talked about saving money.
Yes, we told them write it down.
That's right.
Pencil.
Make the best deal at Grogan's that you can possibly make for your car, and then mention Denny Amorine's name, and that you heard it on this broadcast, that you heard them mention this. They will give you an additional $100 off on that lowest price.
So if you knock them down to the lowest price you can get, you
bottom down.
If
Metal.
they mention you,
bare metal.
There you go.
You'd rather mention Gucci or you mention Harry, and you get an additional $100 off. So Grogan's Chrysler Plymouth Dealership on Jackman Road, and they're open all the time, 7 to 11, Monday through Friday. That sounds like you're at Las Vegas, 7 or 11.
That's right. It sounds like we're almost stealing that car.
That's right.
Number 5, Miles Guyman. Good run back to the 28-yard line off the Tim Ashton kick. 7:29 remaining in the first half.
The one thing that Coach Pratt was very proud of was that he does two-platoon his football team. And that's a philosophical attitude about how you feel about playing kids both ways and having 2 separate total units. Coach Pratt told me that they definitely go two-platoon, and they have 2 different sets of men going in on offense and defense. And that keeps a lot of people fresh. Big hit.
Tyrone Martin, the ball carrier. Pat, I want to get back to what you were just talking about. Rocky Gardner made that tackle for Perrysburg. You talked about the advantages. What's the disadvantage?
Well, you don't always find 22 men that are of that caliber to play. Your only hope is that by being fresh and you have an opportunity to teach that person one position only, that technique will overcome a little bit of his deficiencies as an athlete. And, you know, I'm of the other school that I put the best athletes on the field irregardless. And what generally happens is the backups get better and better, and you can eventually slide them in anyway. You only end up with a couple men going both ways. Nobody there on it. Wow.
Hampshire's pass incomplete. Thrown short this time with a little bit of pressure on him. Pat, I know earlier in the season, reading the Blade, one of the weaknesses of Rossford was supposed to be their offensive and defensive lines. That's really one of the few times their lines broke down.
Right. The push by the Perrysburg front is starting to take hold here because they're so big up front. I mean, they go across that defensive line. They're 190, 180, 200. I mean, that's not exceptionally big. But you know what? They're equal to the size of the Rossford line, and they're fresh.
Hampshire's pass completed. Mike Abrams.
Going back another play here, they did have Tyrone Martin open on a pass down the sideline here that Ben Imch underthrew, and they have dodged the bullet a couple times, the Yellow Jackets, on long passes that have just been a little bit out of reach.
Pat, I want to correct myself because we want to make sure we're getting these young men's names mentioned correctly. That was Mike Abraham.
Abraham, right.
On the reception, and we always want to get these young men identified correctly.
Very nice.
Nice kick by Brad Agler. That's really the first time tonight that he's had enough time to get one off.
Right, and he kind of angled that a little bit too much to the sidelines, lost about 10 yards on that kick. But it was a nice spiral. It turned over a little bit, and Perrysburg will take over at the 35-yard line on the right hash mark. They mixed up their plays in the last drive very, very well with the running of their tailback, Tim Traber, and the catching of his receivers, plus that fine catch by Nick Swanson on that little hot cut as he released to the outside.
Perrysburg taking over after that 34-yard punt. Traber running again after scoring a touchdown. Picked up 6 yards. We're going to have a 2nd and 4 from the 41-yard line. 5:22 on the clock and counting. Pat, if somebody wanted to see these games, where could they go to see it on a big screen?
Whoa, they could go to Arnie's
That's
big
right.
screens.
Arnie's over there. Jesse will do the cooking for
Jesse Villalon will do the cooking. Go to Arnie's 4 big screens located over there on Central and Secor. They could be seeing it tonight because he does advertise it, and that's wonderful.
First down. Tim Traber again on the carry.
You know what? They've inserted a new offensive lineman in there. Now, he may have been there for a while, but I haven't noticed him. Number 78, Jeff Short. Another big gentleman at 6'3", 250. Wow. They have a lot of men that are big fellas. Oh, I'm sorry. I must correct myself. Number 78 is Jason Pardon. Number 78 is Jason Pardon, and I want to thank Chris Harvey for that. Appreciate that. And but also we got Jeff Short's name was just mentioned.
That's
so
right.
Thank you, Mr. Short and Mrs. Short.
Well, Jason's no small man. He's 6'1", 225 pounds.
You can't tell these guys apart. They're all big.
They lost 25 pounds on that switch on our roster.
Right.
Coach. But they're still putting good-sized guys out there. 4 minutes left in the first half. Wide receivers to both sides. Hand off to Traber.
Nice hit.
Pat, it almost seems like Perrysburg has just said, we're coming right at you. Mark Montgomery on the tackle.
I think they've made up their mind that they don't need to throw the ball unnecessarily. That when you can knock somebody off the ball, that's all you need to do. And that's what they've done here for the last 5 plays here. Now they're in a situation where they may have to do something. They've been running misdirection also. They're sending the fullback Grayson to the left and handing it back to Tim Traber on a misdirection play. Now with the 2 wide receivers, the 2 big guys up to the top of the screen here, Powell and Bowers, they may have to open it up here a little bit.
John Strayer rolls to that side.
Nice catch.
Nice catch at the 40-yard line. Keith Bowers on the reception. And as I mentioned, Keith is 3rd in the Northern Lakes League in scoring. It has 7 touchdowns already this season.
We have another change in that offensive line. Nick Oles is coming out, and Jeff Schuler. No, I think Nick Oles is staying in, and Jeff Schuler is coming out. So they are elevating their people, keeping their offensive people fresh also, which is, you know what, if you have the folks and you have that enthusiasm with your offensive team, you continue to do it.
Strayo handing off to Sean Roberts. Sean will be about a yard short of the first down. He was tackled again by a young man's name being mentioned a lot tonight, Mark Montgomery for Rossford. Well, they said his knee touched down a little farther back. They're going to make it 2nd down and 3.
You can see the offensive players huddled around Coach Dave Hall, who's getting the plays from Vern Kyle up in the press box. And the formations dictate who goes into the game, so you really have to stay on top of things to make sure that you don't screw up your formations.
Is that the same Dave Hall that coaches baseball?
Yes, excellent baseball coach. Used to coach at Whitmer High School many years ago under Rob Rose, our baseball coach at Whitmer High School.
First down. 2:12 remaining in the first half. Perrysburg leading on the day's performance footgear scoreboard, 7-6. Plenty of time. The tall man open in the end zone. Overthrown, but we have a flag.
It looks like that the defensive back, number 23, Mike Abraham, may have been draped a little bit over the big fella's back, Keith Bowers. And they're going to call push, and that's the signal right there, pushing. And it's going to be a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. That's what it is in high school.
At halftime today, we will have, as mentioned earlier, the Rosie's question of the week. And the Dan Rogers Sporting Goods Store halftime statistics.
Right. And
I'll tell you, you're going to stumble on this question.
This is a big question.
You have to sing.
I got to think of it.
If Don Meredith can do it on television, you can do it.
That's right.
John Roberts pushing closer to the end zone. We're going to spot the ball at the 6-yard line. Second down and 6.
I think with 1:40 and counting here in the second quarter, Perrysburg has made up its mind to try to knock the stuffing out of that defensive front of Rossford and wear them down. And right now, they just keep coming off the ball. The big O's on the Perrysburg team are squeezing and punching out the little D's.
Get a long count. Hand off to Traber. Over the 5-yard line. We're going to have 3rd down and 3. With that, we're going to take a quick break and come back with the final 30 seconds. We're back at Steinecker Stadium. We just got word that Whitmer has increased its lead 21-7 over Napoleon in a matchup in the Great Lakes League. You can see some of the fans looking down at the game here, watching their Perrysburg Yellow Jackets. They have 3rd and 3 for the first down. And we have a touchdown. Here, 2.
Cameron Gallagher, number 30, came out of the backfield. They were in that strong power eye set, and he slid right out of the backfield. In fact, John Sir had 2 men open in the end zone. He had Nick Swanson on the back of the end zone, and it was a matter of which one he wanted to throw the ball to. It was a nice soft pass, and Cameron Gallagher made a nice catch to make it 13-6 here at 1:04 of the second quarter of the first half.
Extra point attempt. This time off to the left. Pat, that looked almost identical to the Rossford extra point attempt at the same end.
It's a matter of like swinging across. If you're a golfer and you take an outside-in swing and you kind of yank it, that's what he's doing. His foot's coming from outside in, and he's just pulling it to the left. Instead of kicking his foot through the goalpost, he's just kind of going from right to left and swinging it towards the left, and that's what's causing that. So that is a big point. With the score 13-6, Yellow Jackets, a touchdown and an extra point will tie it up. And if Rossford wants to go for 2, they can go ahead. So with 1:04 left here in the second quarter, it's going to be the Yellow Jackets kicking off.
Pat, you said you were going to announce the question of the week early. Are you still going to do that?
Yes, let's do it right now.
We got a little bit of time
let's let the fans look this one up first. Tonight's Rosie's Pizzas with 4 locations. Stump the Coach question from Linda Wells of Oak Harbor. My goodness, they are coming from all over. Linda asks, how did the famous Notre Dame Victory March originate?
Wow, I'm glad this is your night to answer.
Linda Wells of Oak Harbor asks, how did the famous Notre Dame Victory March originate? I'll let the guys in the booth settle on that one for a few minutes before we come up with the answer to that after the halftime break.
Yes. We may even have a few of the guys up here sing it.
That's right.
Kickoff dropped at the 10. Brad Agler running to the 23-yard line. 55 seconds remaining. That tackle by Brian Ball. Brian's name has been mentioned a lot tonight.
Right, that was a nice hit.
Pat, now that reminds me, after tonight's game, we're going to have the Gucci Awards.
Yes, the Gucci Awards.
Sponsored by who?
By Dan Rogers. These gentlemen here, the Gucci Award winners, get a hat donated by Dan Rogers, located on 5540 Monroe Street, just west of Talmadge Avenue. And they really have some great-looking hats. In fact, I just mailed one to St. Ignatius. Oh, my!
There's a hit.
There's a hit that we have to put a note on.
Let's get that truck's number over there. That truck was number 82.
Wow!
That would be Keith Bowers.
We may have to
mark that one down in the truck.
That was a nice hit by Keith Bowers, and that will be
a candidate.
And we still have that gentleman is still down.
That's a candidate for what?
For the Meat Locker, Gus Mancey's Meat Locker hit of the week.
And what do they get?
They get their name on a plaque at Mancey's. So if you are going to Mancey's and you're bringing your date or mom and dad, and you want to go visit the area, I think it's just inside the door, Gus is putting up a big plaque with the names on a nameplate for each of the men over the last, well, now it's the last 6 weeks, so that they can see their name there for all eternity.
Wow.
So that makes them immortal, I guess.
That does.
But I do want to mention that I did send one of the Gucci hats to a gentleman named Sean Grady at St. Ignatius, which we did earlier for winning one of those Gucci awards.
It's not exactly international, but it's interstate.
That's close enough.
That's as close as we're going to get.
That's right.
21 seconds remaining after that 1-yard pickup, 3rd down and 9. Pat, that Gucci award now, that's a nice hat. Why don't we get those? We could wear them to the game.
We could, but I don't know. You know, your hair is pretty plastered down.
Sitting on top.
Oh, there it is.
At the end of the first half, Perrysburg leading on the day's performance footgear scoreboard 13-6. Pat?
We do have an update before we break.
Okay, you want to go ahead. You run it.
We do have an update at the Glass Bowl. It is the St. Francis Knights 12, the St. John's Titans 13.
Whoa.
At their halftime mark. So we have a lot of scores. Whitmer 21 and Napoleon 7. So we do have some scores here, and we will get back to this game where Perrysburg leads 13 and Rossford 6 after these messages. So here we go. The Rossford Bulldogs with 3 first downs to Perrysburg 7. Passing stats. Rossford 4 for 15 for 40 yards. Perrysburg 4 for 6 for 45 yards. Rossford 10 carries for 38 yards. And here's the telling tale. Perrysburg 22 carries for 91 yards. They both have been penalized for around 25, 30 yards. Rossford 2 for 33. Perrysburg 3 for 25. And Perrysburg has 1 fumble that they have lost. Individual statistics for the running backs. Ben Emps, the quarterback, had 2 carries for 13 yards, and Brad Agler has had 1 carry for 29 yards and touchdown. For the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets, Tim Traber leads all ball carriers, 11 carries for 64 yards and 1 touchdown, and Sean Rice has 6 carries for 26 yards. The touchdown pass, which you've already noted, was caught by Carmen Gallagher.
Now, Pat, both teams are back out. As you can see on the camera right there, the Rossford Bulldogs across the way loosening up, and there's a nice shot of Perrysburg Yellow Jackets. Next week, on October 28th, we will be at Spartan Stadium, where the Bowser Rebels, coached by Tom Zintek, will be playing the Start Spartans, coached by Mr. Dave Merritt. Perrysburg next week will travel just across the river to Maumee in a very big matchup in the Northern Lakes League. And Rossford will play host to Sylvania Southview. Pat, you had a chance to go over those statistics. So you studied him hard over that chicken that you were eating. What's the difference in the game so far? Who's matching up well on the keys to victory?
Well, I would say that the controlling the offense when scoring Simon has the ball in the red zone. Perrysburg has done a nice job, and what they have done is they have maintained the ball and kept the ball away from Rossford completely, especially in those last 2 series when they scored. And it's just a matter of now the Perrysburg team is coming off the ball. They are just knocking the Rossford Bulldogs off the ball with their offensive line. It's the size that makes the difference, and I think that is the telling tale right now. The yardage is almost 2-to-1 for rushing yardage. I would imagine that the Rossford team and Tom Ferguson are going to have to start opening up a little bit more. You know, they missed connections a few times, and I think their philosophy of what they're trying to do is really well thought out. And you know what? With a little bit more of a step here, a step there, they could very well have scored, or at least had some long gainers. I do want to mention the two fine football staffs for these two football teams. Coach Chuck Pratt and his staff, his assistant coaches Drew Crane, Greg Harmon, offensive coordinator Vern Kyle, Todd Sims, Dave Hall, Bill Hilt, Ray Pullman, who also runs the All-Star game in the summertime here. So my hat goes off to Ray and the nice job he does. John Thomas, Doc Thomas, very good friend of mine, and some volunteers, Bill Mulrooney, Michael DeFranco, John Henline, and Tom Buckley. The fine staff for Coach Ferguson at Rossford, Pete Emsch, Mark Heyman. I would imagine Pete Emsch is a relative to Ben Emsch. Mark Heyman, Scott Hartley, Fred Coaster. So, you know what? My hat goes off to these men. I know the time they put in, and they certainly do a good job. You can witness that by the way the kids play, and obviously the number of players that are out.
We also want to thank both athletic directors. Right now, Mike Heck, the athletic director at Rossford, and our host tonight, Carolyn Peabody from Perrysburg, came up here and made sure that we had a lot of chicken to graze on during the halftime.
That's no kidding. And that's compliments of quarters. I do want to mention Ron Eaton, the fine superintendent of schools here in Perrysburg. He's a very good friend of ours also. And you know what? Over the years, you do meet a lot of people, and you and I have crossed a lot of paths.
Yes.
And one final note. I would like to mention the gentlemen that are holding the down markers.
Very important men.
Yes,
keep
they
this
are.
thing going.
Tim Walzer also, who helped us with the fight song, which I didn't sing. Tim Walzer and Ollie Freeze and Dick Sparks and Jim Bruning. Al Seeger, also stadium security. We want to thank you for being here tonight and welcoming us so well.
At number 30, Cameron Gallagher carrying the ball for Perrysburg. Dropped at the 32-yard line by number 4, Tyrone Martin. And we're underway in the second half. If you tuned in late, Perrysburg leading 13-6. We're going to have a full slate of basketball games this winter. If you're interested in help sponsoring basketball or the remainder of our football season, you could call 534-4848. That's 534-4848. First and 10. Perrysburg, two receivers to the top of your screen. That's the handoff to their workhorse tonight, Tim Traber. Picking up 6 yards. We're going to have 2nd and 4. That tackle by, again, Mark Montgomery. That young man, 160 pounds, playing a whale of a game on defense tonight.
He has made a lot of hits, and I think he's in there. He's their linebackers. He roves around in the middle and does a nice job. He's around the ball.
2nd and 6. Coming right at your camera. That's number 8, Tim Traber again.
They have a flag here. It's either going to be for a clip or a hold against Perrysburg. And it was downfield. It's a holding call. It was downfield by a wide receiver. And you know what? They are running that play. Rossford has yet to be able to defend that misdirection play where they send the fullback flying off to the one side of the field and handing it back. And in fact, they're running it to the same place. They're running it over the right side, and they're running over Jason Pardon or John Ryder on that right-hand side. So here we're going to have a 10-yard penalty here.
Pat, now they're marking that off. I wanted to ask you a question in the first half because you mentioned the number of times the football. Is there a standard football that's used in all Ohio high school games?
Well, to my knowledge, there is, but, and the reason I'm saying that is the ball should have stripes, and the ball should meet the code, the standards that are outlined in our rule book. The thing is, you know, the PD ball or the Wilson, the other Wilson ball that they have doesn't always have, you know, I mean, the different labels on them doesn't necessarily mean that the ball's not going to be approved. It's not the label that matters. It's whether it fits the dimensions and has the stripes on it. we used to use a rubber ball, the Tachikara, in rainy days, in rainy weather. We picked that up from Traverse City when they came down to play us many years ago, and they brought it out in the rain, and it does have a nice texture to it.
Okay, I got another question following up on that after this play. Jason Fry knocked that pass down for Rossford. 3rd down and 7. And off to Traber. Nice drop from the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of a yard. Pat, I was following back up on that. Do both teams have to use the same football?
No. You can use a different ball. You can bring your own ball, and the officials will keep track of which ball is yours, and that's the one that they will bring out when you take possession. It's not a big deal. I'll tell you this, it was a real big deal for the football team that I was coaching up until last week about the ball situation there. And, you know, I don't think it's an issue in high school whatsoever.
It's a high snap. Tim Ashton still gets a good kickoff. Fielded by Brad Agler and dropped at the 34-yard line. What happened there?
Well,
so on your...
Oh, in that case there, we had a ruling made by our commissioner of officials that allowed the ball that we were using, it had stripes on it, because we play all of our games at night, to be approved. Well, there still was a great controversy throughout the league, this professional minor league football league, and it still is not settled as of yet. So we're going to have our big winter meetings here as soon as the season ends.
That was a 43-yard punt after a high snap. Emch goes to his right, has a man open over the middle, overthrows him.
He's down.
Picked off by Jason Forms for Perrysburg.
Just an errant pass, and there was somebody downfield a little bit further to his right near the sidelines, and Ben Emsch just threw it behind himself. He threw it back across his body a little bit, and you know what? That was a nice reception by that defensive back.
That was Jason Forms.
Nice hands. And that puts Perrysburg in good field position right around the 48-yard line.
Hand off to the first man through, Sean Roberts. Picking 4 yards. Gonna have 2nd down and 6 from the 48-yard line.
Doing a nice job, like was mentioned earlier, of pushing the Rossford linemen off the ball, the defensive front. It's just a matter of size over, desire. The Rossford kids are playing awful hard. It's just that the size of the Perrysburg front line is just too much for them.
Well, Pat, we had a nice
shot.
Nice
hit.
Nice shot right down the line of scrimmage, and you could see that line being pushed back. Jeff Kiefer on the tackle for Rossford.
He jumped up in
3rd and 5.
Traber's face and made the hit for a very short gain there. 3rd down and about 5, and it's now they can run that out cut they've run earlier. They can run that hot pass to their tight end, Nick Swanson. They've run that misdirection play, the handback play to the bottom of the screen several times. So it's just a matter of which play that they're going to go to.
Nice soft touch. Ball laid out for Keith Bowers. Incomplete. 4th down and 5. Kicking situation for Perrysburg, and that will bring in their kicker, Tim Ashton.
Nice throw. Nice route by Keith Bowers. He made a little bit of an in move, a shake move towards the flag or towards the goalpost, and ran it out towards the out-of-bounds line. The ball was laid over his shoulder. He did a nice job of finding the ball and just couldn't find the handle on the kit to bring it in.
Another high snap, fielded by Ashton. High spiraling kick. Fair catch called for. Ball bounces. That was Brett Agler signaling for the fair catch. Pat, what's your theory? Should he have caught that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's no question.
Caught it?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, he made the signal with his hand, which was the right idea. He was standing in the vicinity of the 9-yard line, which is some kind of the limbo area, 9 to 10-yard line. But you know what? The ball would have come down. He probably would have caught it somewhere around the 9-yard line, and that would have saved them a few yards. And then he had to be careful, did Sid jump up and hit him in the knee also.
Rossford with possession after that 43-yard kick.
Wow. Oh,
Lightning streak down
Where
the
did he come
sidelines. Dropped at the 25-yard line.
Number 4, Tyrone Martin.
And he exploded.
Where did he come from? That's fine. He got some running room. He comes screaming out about the 6-yard line and just went about 55, 60 yards down that sideline. And Tim Acker caught him from behind. Look at his handoff. And then he hits, there's a nice block downfield. And then the angle by Tim Acker, just as a matter of foot race to the end zone, saves that touchdown after that big, long run.
And he just stepped around Jason Forbes on that corner.
Right. That's the speed that Coach Pratt was talking about.
That was a 67-yard run from the line of scrimmage. 7:23 remaining in the third quarter. While the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets are getting their man on the field, I will mention that phone number one more time, 534-4848, if you're interested in helping bring high school athletics to the Toledo area. Pass completed to Tyrone Martin.
They have
knocked out of bounds at the 6-yard line.
They have found a weakness in this defense, and that is in the flat on the side of the split receiver. And what the pass that was thrown earlier in the game, right around the second quarter or early in the second quarter when he underthrew it, is now being completed. That's the one he just completed in the flat to Tyrone Martin.
Pat, we talked in the first half about Sofos Foods at the corner of Lasky and Monroe.
Right, and you know what?
They came aboard last week.
They came aboard last week. I talked to Joey Sofo, and you know what? I asked him if he had been contacted, and he said no, he hadn't, but he certainly would like to get involved in the high school football, especially here in the Toledo area. And he mentioned some of the things that they do there. He said they have a ladies' day.
What?
A ladies' day on Thursday.
Can I go?
You bring your wife, unless you want to dress up. I mean, you got a skirt at home? I don't know. But ladies' day is Thursday. They get 10% off on anything and everything they buy. And in fact,
10%? We told him he could save money.
I know. That's all you got to do is mission. And you know what? I was there today. I bought a loaf of bread.
This wasn't Thursday, was it?
I know. No, it is.
Today's Friday.
Today's
You're
Friday.
okay.
And they don't have anything for me anyway. So Roberta Williams works at Sofos, and she's been there 17 years. So go over to Sofos. They've been around since 1954. And tell them that Gucci and Harry sent you.
First down and goal. And off for the touchdown to number 5, Miles Guyman. Miles Guyman scoring for the Rossford Bulldogs at the 7:10 mark of the third quarter.
I'll tell you, this is a surprise. Now it's a matter of whether the Rossford Bulldogs want to go for 2 and go take the lead or kick it and tie it up. It looks like they are going to go for the lead here with 7:10 to go in the third quarter, Harry.
2 men in the backfield, wide receivers to both sides. And pass knocked down by number 42 for Perrysburg. That was Jason Forbes.
I don't know if that was the best time to go for that extra point, Harry. I would think that with all this time to go in the game, tying it up 13-13 would have been a better option. But you know what? Coach knows his players, and he knows what he needs to do the rest of this game. So on the Dave Performance Footgear scoreboard, you have Perrysburg 13 and the very tough and tenacious Rossford Bulldogs 12. This game, I think, is long from over.
Pat, I got a coaching question for you. How does a coach stop a team like Perrysburg from looking ahead to next week when they're going into Maumee undefeated in Northern Lakeshore?
You know what? That is one of the bigger challenges that you have to do. And Coach Ferguson told me before the game he hopes that Perrysburg is looking ahead to Maumee, that they do overlook him, and they do see this 1-6 record thinking that it's not a very good football team. And he feels real good about his team. He even said these are a really fun group to be around. They're enjoyable to go to practice to and be with. So, you know what, he's having a good year of coaching, and I'm sure that they're trying very hard. I know this, during the tougher years, you work a lot harder, or at least you coach a lot better than you do sometimes in your bigger years, when your years are...
Angler kicks off. Ball returned to the 40-yard line by, I believe that was
Jason Forms, I believe.
Forms, yeah, that's who number I caught. Pat, we got some more updates here. St. John's 20, St. Francis 12 with 4 minutes remaining. Whitmer still leading Napoleon 21-14 in the third quarter.
That run by Jason Forms, he would not go down. He just kept running and running, keeping his legs going, and he ended up picking up some extra yardage.
That's Cameron Gallagher carrying the ball.
You know what? I think that momentum has kind of changed a little bit here again. That fickle term, momentum. Right now, Rossford is now starting to hit a little bit harder. They're starting to dig in a little bit more. And, you know, it's amazing. You know, they want to play hard all the time, and yet they now they've got a little more enthusiasm.
2nd and 9. We're going to have a flag dropped. A little delay of game called on Perrysburg. Pat, that gives us the opportunity. You are going to tell scholars that are listening tonight where they can get some scholarships.
Right, and the thing that matters is that now they must get out a pencil and paper, while at least we do this. And, you know, these sponsors are gracious enough to give us the information it takes to at least help the people here in the city. One of the things that EnviroSafe does is they give out $10,000 scholarships to deserving young men and women. They give out 2 a year. They've given out eight total in the last 4 years. And the number that you're going to need to write down, and I'll get to that number as soon as we run this play here by John Strayer.
Strayer trying to get his feet set to pass.
Great effort.
Knocked out of bounds. See if we can get that young man's number.
He knocked the ball down there. He's kind of having a hard time keeping his feet, number one.
Jason Fry, number 1 for Rossford.
His dad was Jack Fry, who was the head football coach at Southview last year, and he retired. So that's his son there, and he's having an opportunity. I'm sure he's in the stands. He and his family are watching Jason play with the score 13-12. Perrysburg with 5:53 to go. But getting back to that scholarship opportunity, there'll be 2 given this year, and the number you need to call is 255-5100. 255-5100.
Strayer's pass completed to number 90. Nick Swanson is tight end. Pat, they're going to move the chains. Run it, give it one more time, will you? What was that number?
255-5100. Ask for Jack Murphy, or have your son or daughter go to your counselor and ask him for the EnviroSafe of Ohio scholarship. It's a $10,000, and there's 2 of them given out.
That's not limited to any particular college either, is it?
No, it is not to my knowledge. And in my information, that's a great opportunity for the citizens of the Toledo area to have their sons academically oriented or athletically oriented.
First down, and carrying the ball, Sean Roberts, picking up 8 yards.
Nice
Second down and 2.
Nice mixture of plays here. That pass there caught by Nick Swanson. Took the ball up the field here, and then this nice run here. They're doing a nice job of mixing up their plays.
Pat, we got an update. St. John's has beaten St. Francis 33-12.
That is a big upset. I would have never guessed that. That's in the City League for the city first place. Them in Central have got their hands full. Whoa!
Strayer knocked out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Number 77, a good hit. That was Joe Latart.
Well, I'll tell you this, he smothered him. Nice job. You can see that John Strayer is coming down here trying to turn the corner, and Joe Latart would not let him. He just swooped down on him.
What?
Swooped, down on him and knocked him out of bounds. Nice job, Joe.
And he hit him real hard.
And he had third down and about 5 or 6.
Wide receivers to both sides of the field. One setback. Strayer's pass completed. Travis Powell.
That was delivered just on time. John Strayer stepped to his right, opened up away from the throw, planted on his third step, turned, and fired it on a slant pass, 3 steps, and in by Travis Powell. Nice play, big play, with third down and 6 to go. That gives them a 1st and 10 around the 33-yard line, 34-yard line.
4:40 left in the third quarter. Sean Roberts. Benton dropped after a 3-yard pickup. Jason Fry on the tackle.
He had a little help there from Joe Latart again. Joe's having a good night. We got Rossford is being victimized a little bit here with a mixture of Perrysburg. They're doing a nice job of mixing up their plays, and they're giving them a lot of misdirection. So not only do they have to contend themselves with this bull charge, but they also have to worry about misdirection and the pass.
Strayer's handoff to Tim Traber. Picking up another 3 yards. Third down and 4. Mike Schlater on the tackle.
Another one of those 3rd and 5s, Harry, with 3:40 here in the third quarter.
So far, the only scoring in the third quarter, Miles Guyman on a 4-yard run. Strayer tucks the ball in. Met by a host of Rossford Bulldogs. Pat, did you catch it?
No question, it was a face mask. And you know what? It wasn't even necessary. But I'm sure that he didn't mean it. The player from Rossford. But you know, you reach up around the helmet and that, and your finger's going to get caught right there. It's an easy thing to grab onto the face mask, and it's going to cost him a big penalty. And that's going to put Perrysburg in position to score a touchdown here. It's a big 15-yarder.
Pat, in high school, are there 2 face mask penalties?
No, there's one.
Just the one.
It's 15 yards, and in the pros there are 2.
Okay.
You know, the one where your hand is just on the face mask, and the other one where you just snap your head around. You know what? We still have it. We have one so far meat locker hit. That was earlier in the game.
Yeah, that was by Keith Bowers.
Right. And we're still looking for perhaps a competitor to that one. Boy, that was close. That was close. I hear the fans screaming and yelling about interference, but if they threw the flag, I think they wouldn't have liked what the flag would have dictated.
Why do you think that?
I think that the wide receiver from Perrysburg was shoving the Rossford player out of the way, so the no call probably was the best call in this case.
2nd down and 10. Pat, the Napoleon has scored, but they missed the extra point. Whitmer still leading 21-20.
Wow. Oh, my.
At the 20-yard line by number 53, Matt Jennings, 6'3", 219-pound senior.
A lot of big plays from Rossford's defense. Someone is making a big play and putting Perrysburg just a little bit out of reach each time they are knocking down. Now, they are in the red zone, and this was one thing that Coach Pratt wanted to do. He wanted to score when he was in the red zone. He's been in there now. It's 3rd down and long, and he needs to make a play here or kick a field goal.
Trips to the bottom of the screen. Quick handoff Tim Traber. Now we're going to have a long 4th down play. It's going to be 4th down and 14. Pat, do you go for the field goal or do you go for the 1st down?
With the kicker that they have, unless he's injured, and they're going to go for it. Unless he's injured, I would have kicked the field goal. They're going to go with this trip
He's down
set.
here on the sidelines. He's fine. So pass is picked off. Jason Fry on a big interception for Rossford.
He did a nice job there. He had a pretty good series there, Jason Fry.
Yes, he's played a good game tonight, too.
He's got that interception, and he's made a nice couple of plays.
He and another man back here, Mark Montgomery, played good games tonight.
You can see him. The ball was thrown to a spot, and Jason just stepped in front of it and picked it off. And, I mean, hindsight, if he'd slapped it straight down, they would have picked up another 8 yards, but that's okay. They want the ball. There's something we haven't seen, shifting by Rossford.
Sophomore Ben Emsch still at quarterback. 6-yard pickup on the play. That was by Miles Guyman.
That was another one of those inside plays. And you know what? He was one man from breaking it. He got just tripped up on the line of scrimmage. He still picked up 8 yards. So you never know. This Rossford team is explosive, Harry. They do have some backs that could just go the distance at any time.
Yeah, this does not look like a team that's only won one game.
No, not at all.
Emsch on the keeper. Back to the line of scrimmage. Going to give us 3rd down and 1.
I think what you need to tell your sophomore quarterback is, don't think you've got to win the game. Don't put on. I mean, you have to relieve him of that responsibility. He's not ready for that mentally. So, don't worry about trying to win the game. We're going to give you the tools so that you can get it done. Handing it off to the right people, throw the balls, throw the passes that he's capable of throwing. Don't ask him to do more than he's able to do, either physically or mentally. And I know Coach Ferguson definitely keeps that in mind. He'll bring this young man along very well.
Big 3rd down play for both teams. Pat, we've got a flag on the play. That gives us the opportunity. Now, you said you weren't going to talk about it earlier, but what about Rosie's Lunch Buffet? That's great.
It's the best. In fact, I was there earlier in the week, but I beat our man Rick Woods there, because if I follow him in there, there's nothing ever left. Nothing's ever left. And with the pizza they have, and they have stromboli on there, they have rigatoni, they have salads, they have these pizza salads, they have everything. It's just the greatest. For $3.99, you can never go wrong, and especially with all the Roses locations here in town. So here's a big 3rd down play, and it's a long pass.
Emsch has a man open. Oh! Off his hand, intended for Jason Fry.
No, I believe that was Tyrone Martin.
Tyrone Martin?
I think it's number 4.
See if we can get the number of that defensive back. That was...
that may have been number 43,
43.
Tim Acker.
Yes, I believe it was.
Boy, what a nice throw. There's one that was made that was thrown right there, and Tim Acker had his hand out, but it wasn't long enough to knock it down.
Okay, with that, we're going to take a break and come right back. Okay, we're back. Today's Performance Footgear scoreboard. Perrysburg 13, Rossford 12. The 40-yard line.
Excellent kick. I do want to mention the locations of Rosie's.
Yes,
they do have the one at McCord in Nebraska, which is the one that my wife Judy and I and the family go to very often. There's one on Seacorn, Alexis, which is also one that we go to often because it's near the high school. The one in Sylvania, on Sylvania, east of Jackman, and then the newest one across the Masonic Temple, right there on Heather Down. Take your family, take your friends, go to Rosie's Family. There's a nice catch by Keith
That was by Keith Bowers.
I think it's just a matter of time that Keith Bowers is going to hurt you. You keep throwing it in his direction, and they're going to hook up, and they're going to make a big play. And that time they did. He made a nice catch on that ball, and with his height, and he's got good moves. You see John Strayer steps back, and he puts enough air under it and makes a nice adjustment on the ball, Keith Bowers.
That's the handoff, Tim Traber. Tim Traber out of bounds at the 10-yard line. That tackle by Jason Fry, saving a touchdown.
Nice blocking by the front line to the left side there. Jason Pardon and Jeff Schuler, David Wallace, Nick Swanson. Nice job of blocking and knocking those guys off the ball.
Pat, we've got some other things to run through, some Perrysburg teams that are doing very well this year after this play.
I do want to mention Darryl Costin is also a tight end for Perrysburg.
Strayer's pass overthrown, intended for his tight end, Nick Swanson. I mentioned the volleyball team, girls volleyball team, is currently rated number 3 in the state. The boys soccer team, number 2, and today we've been waiting to get some information on it. We haven't received anything yet. Their golf team is competing in the state tournament down in Columbus.
What a great athletic facility and program. Carolyn Peabody ought to feel very proud of her coaches and players here, and so should the fans here in Perrysburg. What a great community, both these communities. This is a banner year for Perrysburg.
Second down. Tim Traber to the 7-yard line. Brad Agler on the tackle for Rossford, along with, again, Mark Montgomery.
Doing a nice job here. Third down and goal from about the 8-yard line, 7-yard line.
Pat, we're getting close to the 10-minute mark remaining in the game. This is a big possession for Perrysburg right now. If they can convert it, puts a little pressure on Rossford.
They're going to have to open up their offense, and Rossford, that is, they convert this play.
Pitch back to Traber, trying to turn the corner.
Very close.
I think they're going to spot it at about the 1-yard line.
Which makes it 4th down and 1. That saving tackle, I believe, was Mike Abraham. Very difficult from this angle to see the numbers, but I believe that was number 23, Mike Abraham, or Brad Agler. So it's 4th down and 2, and they are going for it. They have number 1, Sean Roberts, at tailback right now.
Tight formation, Roberts with the ball.
Oh, he did not make it. Great hit.
Pat, we couldn't get the number that young
That's
man.
number 4.
4, that would be Tyrone Martin.
Tyrone Martin, put a lick on him. We're going to have to mark that one. That was a touchdown saving tackle by Tyrone Martin. Nice hit. That may be a candidate.
Yes.
That might be a keeper for the meat locker hit, the Gus Mancy's meat locker hit. He hit him right at the 1-yard line and turned him the other direction.
That reminded me of last year.
That's right.
That's what
right there.
Right there.
So here we are with Rossford's feet in the end zone. Oh, nice hit.
Pickup of 1 yard. That tackle by Brian Ball.
Nice hit. He hit the back straight in the chest and knocked him down, but it still gained about 1 yard or 2. With 8:54 here in the 4th and final quarter, Perrysburg 13, Rossford 12, and Rossford driving the 96 yards to get into position to score.
Miles Guyman picking up those 2 yards for Rossford. And then behind in center, Sean Smith. And back to pass out of his own end zone. Tipped away by number 82, Keith Bowers.
Yeah, he's playing pretty good on both sides of the ball, Harry.
Well, I tell you, that 6'6", he covers a lot of ground.
That's right. He does a nice job. He returns punts. Caught a nice pass over here. And he just knocked down that pass there. And you know what? That was a gutsy call by Coach Ferguson out of his own end zone. Now it's 3rd down and about 8. He needs to convert this. And he has Tyrone Martin in the backfield.
That call showed a lot of confidence in the sophomore quarterbacks.
It did.
Amsh on the handoff. Miles, Diamond. We're going to have a 4th down and 6.
You can bet that Perrysburg's, well, I was going to say they're going to go after it, but they have 2 men going back. They got Bowers going back, along with number 43, Tim Acker.
Snap. Kick picked up by Tim Acker.
Knocked out of bounds immediately.
About about the 28-yard line.
Yeah, the pressure on the Rossford defense is just never ending. It's just a continuing pressure-packed cooker to keep them with their back against the wall here. With Perrysburg keeps driving on them.
Near the end of the 3rd quarter, Whitmer still leading 21-20 over Napoleon. Traber following his fullback Pete Grayson. Picking up 7 yards, 2nd and 3. Next week we're going to have Tom Zintek's Bowser Rebels versus Dave Merritt's Start Spartans. Perrysburg will travel over to Maumee, and Rossford will be hosting Southview. 2nd and 7. From the 20. And off to Traber. Twists to the 10-yard line. 1st down. 7 minutes left in the game. Pat, you're going to have to start thinking, I know you're jotting some notes down here. The Gucci Award's getting real close.
Right, and you know what? There's a lot of candidates for these awards, too. They're doing a nice job. I mean, the linemen are blowing them off the ball, and the backs are running hard. There's some good plays offensively and defensively. But we'll put our heads together and come up with a fair evaluation of what's here and get that Gucci Award out.
There's a young man that might be a candidate, Tim Traber. Ball's going to be spotted at the 5-yard line. 2nd down.
Well, I tell you, Perrysburg has just kept leaning on Rossford here, and they needed that offense to get them out of this hole so that they would be able to get a kick and make Perrysburg go the long distance. But here the ball started at about the 27-yard line, and here they're knocking on the door again after that big play by Tyrone Martin here earlier.
Traber twisting to the 3-yard line. Just want to remind you, if you need basketball shoes, Nike Air Strong men's basketball shoes, normally $104, are now on sale for $89.95, and Nike Air Pound basketball shoes, men and women's, normally $79.95, are on sale for $64.95 at Dave's Performance Footgear. 5577 Monroe Street in Sylvania.
Mighty close, and they can get a 1st down, Harry.
By a whisker, Coach.
Right. I mean, there can't be a freckle between the end of that stick and the...
Coach, we write kids up for demerits when they're that close.
And it looks like the Keith Bowers seems to know what he's doing. Either that or that's the Seminole Chop. One of the two.
Well, they're bringing it in. Pat, the only thing we've got to do is talk about Grogan Chrysler Plymouth. You told the people you could save some more money over there.
Right. Well, what they need to do is if they need a used car, they got to go see Bill Poznansky on the Central Avenue Strip. Bill has program cars, which are only a year old, that he bought from the Chrysler factory with the warranties. That's 1994 cars. One of them is a Plymouth Grand Voyager SE that they can get not for $24,000, but for $17,000. They have a lot of convertibles and trucks and imports. Go see Bill Ponansky. Touchdown.
Traber from 1 foot out. Jim Traber with his second touchdown of the game. That touchdown came at the 5:14 mark of the fourth quarter.
Nice job by that front line offensively. They've got Darrell Costin over there. They've got Jason Pardon over there blocking on that left side, along with number 79 David Wallace and the center Mike Barros knocking those men off the ball. Tim Traber get in for that 1-yard touchdown.
Tim Ashton, important extra point attempt. Dead center.
That makes the score on the Dave Performance Footgear scoreboard at the 5:14 mark. It is Rossford 12 and the Yellow Jackets from Perrysburg High School 20.
Now, Pat, we're still only one score out of reach.
That's right. You know, that extra point that Coach Ferguson went for 2, he still can make it happen here. A touchdown and going for 2 could take us into overtime. And the situation is, this will put us where we were a year ago.
Yes, it will.
And you know what? Anything's liable to happen on this kickoff or with Rossford with the ball. That is one of the reasons why we like doing this game. That's why this is one of our games of the week.
Right. Just a reminder, after the game tonight, the Gucci Award, sponsored by Dan Rogers Sporting Goods Store, and the Gus Mancy's Meat Locker Hit of the Week.
Meat Locker. You know what? He's becoming famous with that Meat Locker hit. I hear that everywhere I go.
Do you really?
Yeah, honest to goodness. They talk about this Gucci Award. They want to know if it's a watch. I said, no, it's not a watch.
The Meat Watcher Award. I watch those steaks come out. Yeah, I just drool.
They want to know if the Gucci Award is a wristwatch or a shirt. Says, no, it's a hat. Brad
Agler still on his feet to the 35-yard line. Pat, we just got word here. Whitmer has just scored on a 1-yard run. Whitmer leading 28-20.
That's Scott Rehard with a 1-yard run.
And the extra point was converted, so Whitmer now with an 8-point lead over Napoleon in the battle for the Great Lakes League.
Thank you, Rick Woods.
Yes.
He's got his teleprompter going. He's got his ears up.
I'll tell you, he's a regular ticker tape back here. Emsh's pass, he airs it out. Overthrown at the 35-yard line.
Well, they have 4:45 here to go in the fourth quarter. You see these two gentlemen jogging back into the defensive huddle, but it's you don't need to get it all at once. There's plenty of time to get the ball into the end zone. It's okay to throw, you got to go for the home run in a series just to keep those defensive backs honest. You never know, you might hook up and have him go the distance.
2nd and 10. That handoff to number 5, Miles Guyman. Met and drop at the 35-yard line. 3rd down and 10. More important, 4:30 remaining in the game. Rocky Gardner on the tackle. That's a good name for a football player. Rocky.
Great. You got to be tough if you're going to be called Rocky.
I'll tell you, he is tough. 6 foot, 190 pound senior.
That's a good-sized young man. Good-sized linebacker.
3rd and 10. Count. Has a man open, overthrows him. Jason Forbes. Young man's played a good game tonight.
Yes, he has.
Carries the nail to the 41-yard line. The Perrysburg fans in front of us happy, as well as you can see their players.
Right, they got it in mob, Jason. If you're on the sidelines, you want to get him hurt.
Yeah,
after he makes a great play. I think he's all right. He got up, and you can see that Ben Amch is going to step back, makes a nice drop, and he gets hit right on his knee just as he's about to throw it, and causes that ball to get a little higher than it should. And Jason Farms is going to take it right here, right down the sidelines, and then gets just kind of bumped out of bounds. So it's Perrysburg ball.
Traver carrying the ball. Stacked up after a short gain. Scott Jeremy on the tackle.
Second down and long, about 11 yards, and it's just a matter of Perrysburg just gets to sit in the ball and control it and get a couple first downs, and they will take this game away from Rossford. We'll be heading into that the NOL. Whoa, we got one.
Traver, one man to beat. That man, Jim Wagner, saved the touchdown for Rossford. However, Perrysburg with the first down at the 14-yard line. Pat, we want to also thank the people from Arnie's Restaurant. We want to say hi to everybody watching on the big screen tonight. They get the opportunity to watch this replay on that Traver run.
Nice block there by number 79, David Wallace, and then you see that Tim Traver has just blown it up in there. They're just pouring it up in there. I do want to also compliment or congratulate Jesse Villalon for the Employee of the Week at Arnie's. And folks, if you're over there watching the game, please tell them that you're happy to see the high school football game of the week on the 4 big screens at Arnie's, at Secor, and Central.
And Mr. Arnie Elsie was a pretty good athlete at the University of Toledo. Good football player in his own right. 2nd and 7. As you can hear in the background, a Perrysburg band. Traver dropped in his own backfield by number 63. And I don't have a number 63. Yes, I do. Number 63 is Aaron Pertner.
Aaron Pertner.
2nd and 8. Excuse me, I'm all shook up here looking at the wrong schedule. 3rd and 8.
Where will we be next week?
Next week,
where are we putting this show?
We've got 2 of our friends. Tom Zintek from Bowsher will be taking his Rebel team over to play the Start Spartans. And a good friend of mine, Mr. Dave Merritt. Man's a legend in his own time, in my mind.
David, they were 4-3 going into tonight's contest, or tomorrow night's contest. So, you know, with this upset of St. Francis, well, I wouldn't say it was an upset. With this victory of St. John's, kind of just tips the scales with another loss. That leaves, I believe, the St. Francis with 3 losses.
Yes. They've
lost to some pretty competitive football teams. And that leaves St. John's, I believe, with maybe only 1 loss. And that was to St. Ignatius. And we had that game.
Yes, we did. And then on November 4th, we're going to have St. Francis and Central from the Glass Bowl. That'll be in 2 weeks. Pat, I just look at my notes here. How do you feel about the playoffs? Any chance for any area teams?
I would think that Maumee, depending on what happens between these 2 football teams, is a candidate for the playoffs. Of course, we know Wasion, which isn't in our viewing area. They will be 1. Fremont Ross, I would say, would have been a nice candidate had they not been upset by Fostoria about 2 weeks ago. Right now, I would say the leading candidate, perhaps St. John's, will jump into the picture now with the victory over St. Francis. So the leading candidates, I think, in the area that we may do would be St. John's and Maumee. And, of course, Perrysburg. Whoa, touchdown!
Nice pass. John Strayer to Keith Bowers.
Nice throw and catch. Well done. Thrown on the correct side, away from the defensive back, thrown to the outside so that Keith Bowers can make that adjustment and catch that ball. Nice drop, nice throw, nice delivery.
Pat, you want to talk us
Yes,
through that?
you can see that John Strayer just threw it to the outside, away from the defensive back. Keith Bowers made a nice adjustment on the ball for the touchdown.
Extra point conversion is up and good again by Tim Ashton.
Which makes the score with 1:55 in the fourth quarter. You have the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets 27 doing a nice job of play mixture to 12 for the Rossford Bulldogs, who have made a very good account of themselves here today. They've just been a little bit overwhelmed by that front offensive line and a whole lot of Tim Traber.
Yes, and our congratulations to Keith Bowers. That's his 8th touchdown of the season. We have 1:55 remaining. You can see in front of us the Perrysburg fans celebrating with their pep band in front of them.
Nice crowd here tonight.
And
nice
in front
crowd.
of that, today's performance footgear scoreboard. Today's performance footgear, 5577 Monroe Street in Sylvania at the Promenade Shop. James Mason over there. Probably the most well-known expert in footwear. They have walking shoes, running shoes, cross-training shoes, hiking shoes, soccer shoes. I bet some of the guys over here at Perrysburg, who are ranked number 2 in the state, buy their shoes at Dave's Performance Footgear. And as I mentioned, basketball shoes. Brad Agler looking for some room. Dropped at the 26-yard line. And I want to thank all of the sponsors: Soulful Foods, EnviroSafe of Ohio, Rosie's Italian Restaurant, Logan Chrysler Plymouth, Dan Rogers, Dave's Performance Footgear, Arnie's Fine Eateries, Gus Mancy's Elegant Dining Facilities over there on Sylvania Avenue.
You know, we cover all the bases of places to eat.
Does that tell you something?
I don't know. We got a mentality stuck in the kitchen. Whoa, big hit. Big hit by number 67 from Perrysburg. That is Jim Polecki.
Pat, I hope we had that on a replay. I think he lost the ball before he got hit.
The ball may have slipped off his hand as he was dropping back, but I believe that hit was by Jim Polecki.
Here we go, Coach. Let's see what we got.
He's back to go, and then the ball just hit and it just dropped loose from his hand on the hit. I still have to, we've got a couple of candidates for the meat locker hit.
Good. Well, when are you going to announce that?
I'm going to announce that right after we come back after the conclusion of this game.
Okay,
with 107 and counting.
I was just going to say, we've got about a minute to wait.
We have the meat locker hit, Gus Mancy's, and we also have the Dan Rogers Gucci Awards, which those gentlemen get hats that they have to go over to Dan Rogers to get, and
where can they get those at? Where do they pick those up at?
5340 Monroe Street, about a half-mile west of Talmadge. They can see Dan himself, or Katie Rogers, Chris Edwards, or go back and see Rita. They get their name on their hat, and they're beautiful hats. They're nice hats, and it's a nice memento of today's game.
Cameron Gallagher carrying the ball for Perrysburg as they try to run the clock out. I want one of those hats.
Someday
I'm not
you
proud. I'll ask.
You may have to go out there and suit up, though. You know, you got to earn. Look what these guys go through.
They don't have suits small enough for me.